Championship. Auto Hybrid set a blistering lap of a 1:16.9, claiming that sweet pole position for round 1. Point 1, does that improve? Yes, it does! The very first driver to cross the line and be into the 1:16.9s. What do you think about that, Arafoxy? The top 3, however, were just a few tenths apart from each other, and that meant that we were gonna get a spicy fight for the lead, and so we did. No one from the top 3 was willing to give out pace, and so for the first few opening laps, they were neck on neck, and I'm not exaggerating. However, throughout the race, we realized that Bistiva was the one who made the lesser mistakes. He was the more consistent one, he set the fastest laps more consistently, and he was just better overall than Nih and Auto Hybrid. As a matter of fact, he was so good that by the end of the race, he had made a gap for himself enough to stop for new tires and still win the race. Oh, is that Beast in the pits? Beast has gone in the pits. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going for the two-stopper. Let's see who gets out on top. We're watching Beast in the second feed. We're watching Nih in the main feed. Does he get out of the pits before Nih or after Nih? It's going to be very, very exciting to see this. It's the first type of action we've had in a couple of laps, but Nih seems to be in front. However, as the next few laps unraveled, it became clear quite quickly that the Nih did not have the pace with his old tires. As he goes ahead into turn 1 with the DRS, and Beast is now back in the lead, and he's gonna be cruising with that new soft tire compound. It's gonna be very, very easy work for him, if you ask me. But that was not the last piece of action that we got for the race. Since Nih couldn't challenge for the win, he thought, why shouldn't I go for the fastest lap? And so he did.
Race, I wouldn't say he was way too horrible. He pits again.
Oh, he pits again.
But of course, he's actually probably going to try to go for that fastest lap, stealing away from Beast. He's not allowing Beast to have that.
Hasn't Auto Hybrid overtaken him though?
I think he might have.
He has.
Yep.
What's that about?
I think Nih might have forgot that Auto Hybrid was behind him. I'm not too sure, but I think he might have forgot that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a car chasing me.
So with that, Auto Hybrid had a very, very nice gap that if he could manage till the end, he would finish comfortably into P2. But he didn't do that, he did this.
To keep the lead, not keep the lead, keep ahead.
Oh, massive mistake!
Whoa! He keeps it. And Nih gets past. That is one way to bottle a good result.
Ah, man.
Well, Nih can now calmly go for his fastest lap attempt.
And so, with that, there was one final battle left between Bistiva and Nih. But not for position, for the fastest lap. But the man on top, the man who was able to set the standard of this race, Mr. Bistiva takes this race in style with 20 seconds to spare to the next car, which is Mr. Nih 108, who again had a great start, had great pace at the beginning of this race, but he made a couple of mistakes. And
look at the sector times.
Yeah, we'll be looking at the sector times right now as he crosses the line. Does he get the fastest lap? Yes, he does.
He got it.
He got it. That's a 1:17.8 by Mr. Nih as he crosses the line. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PA Community Championship. This is going to be a championship that all of you can take place in with no sign-ups required. There's 3 rules you guys have to keep in mind. One is, again, no sign-ups required. If you're here first before everyone, you just get to compete. Rule number 2 is that we use 2023 cars only for this season. We don't know about the next one, if there will be one. And that's when we will use next year's cars, but keep in mind that the 2023 cars are all equal, so you can go for any kind of livery you want. Last but not least, there is a 5,000 Robux prize pool sponsored by PA themselves, and it's going to be split between the top 3 with 60, 25, and 15% respectively. Now, the winner is going to be, chosen by the standard F1 point system plus the extra fastest point lap, and that's how it's going to be. But that's about it. Let's move on to round 2, Silverstone. As you saw before, I showed the highlights for round number 1, so if you missed it, go back, watch that, and come back as you'll have enough time to experience the second round. So yeah, Silverstone, round number 2 of the PA Community Championship. Also, just letting you know that I'm still a little bit sick, so you guys will have to bear with me this time around, and so hopefully next time around I will be just fine. Now, this stream, our second commentator, Mr. GeForce, has not has not skipped the race, has not fallen asleep. He is also kind of sick, so you'll have to excuse both of us. But as we go into the slight intermission, GeForce, introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi guys, I'm the G-Force, and yes, I am quite sick. Arthur gave it to me, but I am excited to commentate alongside him for the Project Apex Row Arthur Community Championship, with which any one of you can compete in. So do it, so you can get nice amounts of Robux. Why not? You know?
I mean, I think I kind of like that. So there we go. Uh, that is your commentator for today. You guys can start joining. Link is what's it called? Pinned in the comments, so you guys can start joining already. Let me actually go ahead and give ourselves an actual timer for qualifying. It's going to be 700 seconds. So you guys have enough time to actually qualify. Actually, let's make it 800. And yeah, so round 2. As we saw before, the event winner of last time was Beastiva, who actually was incredibly competitive. And yeah, now we just wait and see what happens in this round. So yeah, guys, start joining, and yeah, I thought GeForce was also sick. Nah, he is sick as well. If you can hear his
Yeah.
voice, yeah. Um,
But I decided to persevere today. It's okay. Now we go into the qualifying.
yeah. Now we wait to go into qualifying. Let me actually make it more clear to you that it is actually in the description. And we have the first couple of cars out on track right now. Slipstreamer YT actually, the first person out.
And we also have Chris Boy out and Seth also out for qualifying, as we have more cars joining in for the qualifying session, which has 12 minutes left of running time.
Yeah.
So here we have Slipstreamer, I think, saying his first lap as he goes around the first sector. And he's doing a pretty good job of keeping it on the curbs and maintaining it nice closely to the best possible racing line as he activates the DRS for the first straight, I think, as he goes down into this long right-hander, my bad. And yeah, he just accelerates forward.
He just accelerates forward is a very good statement indeed. But yeah, let's make sure that doesn't happen again. As we had a slight black screen over there, but that's just resolved right now. As Slipstreamer crosses the line, that's a 140.7. Obviously, that's just the outlap. So now we wait to see what he could do on his actual lap, as we have a couple of more people joining in the lobby. So yeah, Beast is not yet in this lobby, which is quite worrying, as he does have the lead in the championship. So yeah,
Yep,
I guess we'll just wait and see.
Yep, he needs to try and retain his lead to get that sweet prize. But as we have other people setting laps, Seth, he's 4 seconds behind. That is probably his outlap. Yep, and Slipstreamer goes onto this slight right, this long straight, and he makes it through cops. Yep, there we go, very nice and close to the curbs and extending it as wide as he can on the outside to maintain the most speed possible as he's going through the maggots and beckets. He also keeps it nice and close, but he does go a little bit wide there as he may not have the best exit he want for the long straight, but he will get the DRS, so that will hopefully keep him on position. And yep, as he goes into this right-hander, he needs to perfect it, or else he will not get the lap time he wants. Does he get a little bit of slip there? I don't know. I'm not really sure. But as he goes into the last few corners, it's been an okay lap for him. Oh no, he takes a bit of the curb. That's not going to be great for his lap time, as he comes over to set a not a good enough lap time. Oh, we'll probably
it was invalidated.
Invalid, yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Right, so let's move down a bit. So Nee here, who kind of messed it up last race, is going to be going for a lap himself as well. I'm actually expecting Nee to do good today. I don't know, I just have a good feeling. I might as well might have jinxed it now, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, he came third, I think, last race. Yeah, if I remember correctly, with the fastest lap. So,
He came in second, actually.
oh, second. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
my bad. But he should be doing well here. I mean, I don't think no, he didn't
Yep.
set a good lap there because he's just there now on the grass. So I think you'll have to wait a little bit before he can actually set a good enough lap for the leaderboard.
Yep. So I think we actually have a lap now. That is Seth with a 132.9. So again, we just wait and see who can set better lap times, as everything currently is getting invalidated. The drivers are having a very difficult time finding themselves around the track.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I didn't know if Silverstone was this hard, but yeah, people are struggling to set good lap time. I mean, Seth there, he's the fastest of the lot, but I don't think anyone has set a lap time yet, as we have 10 drivers with us now, more to join expectantly. But yeah, as Slip, he goes slightly ahead of Seth with 6 tenths, and yeah, he pushes himself to a provisional pole position.
Slipstreamer is in provisional by just a few tenths, actually. 132.3 is the current provisional pole time. 132.9 was set by Seth.
Oh.
And finally, we have Ratapato in first. So provisional pole position for Ratapato. I'm sure the times are going to come down more again. So can't wait to see that as he despawns and goes back into the pits. Very funny to see that just disappears out of nowhere. But yeah.
Yeah, Rata 2 seconds ahead of everyone. That will push everyone to get to try and go for faster lap times, as Slip and Seth are 2 seconds behind him. But no one. Oh, I think we see a purple sector with Chris on board this like thing, as he is currently in the first sector, as well as Nee. Nee also gets his purple first sector, but he might have messed up a little there, as you can see him go a little bit off track. Yeah,
He has
that's
gone back to the
unfortunate.
pits. So now we watch over Chris to
He
see what
did
he
get a
can do.
second. Oh, sorry. He did get a second sector yellow, but he does have the DRS as he goes into the last few corners. Can he maintain this lap to bring it to provisional pole position? We'll have to see. But he takes a nice line there. He keeps it very close to the curbs, as he doesn't extend as much as he could probably, but he keeps it close to the curb, and he does manage to get a 126, 4 seconds ahead of everyone, and provisional pole.
Very, very good by him. Very, very well done. As Nee gets back out the pits, he hasn't found actually a good lap for himself. I think he's just been invalidating left, right, and center. So now we just wait and see what he can answer with as Chris goes into that provisional pole position. Sweet 1.26.0, 4 seconds quicker than anyone out, on laps. So now we wait and see what Nick can do. Let's see if anyone else can challenge him. Very interesting stuff, and I just can't wait for qualifying to end so we can actually have a final result on our hands as Nick moves on. Let's see what you guys have been typing in the chat. We have lots of Have F1 in there. But yeah, I am actually feeling a bit better, to the point where I can actually stream it. I'm not feeling 100% just yet, but hopefully by next weekend we'll be okay. Same goes for GeForce. So
yeah, I mean, I've been having terrible headaches, coughing everywhere, but it's okay because I get to. Oh no, never mind. But yeah, I get to witness this spectacle of racing for a top prize, as we see Nee go on a lap now, I believe, as he goes through the first corner. Very nice and close. I mean, these first couple of corners are not going to be testing the drivers too much, as they are quite simple for them. But he clips a little bit of the the sausage curb there, and he's not as close to the curb as he could possibly get. But he's on to the first straight now with the DRS, and he is cruising down the straight. I mean, he doesn't seem to be having any problems. I can't see if he's in green sector or not, but I'm just gonna assume that he's having a nice lap, because he's doing an okay job. He's maintaining the racing line properly. as he goes on to this second straight as well. He's managing to maintain the speed and he's not crashing out like he's done the past couple of laps, but we'll have to see as we enter through the last part of the lap. Cops, he gets it very nice and close to the curbs there, almost invalidating, but I think he just kept it on the line there as he goes through.
Oh, knee, no! That's a crash. That's a big crash. That means that yet another lap has gone down the bin as Mr. Gons sets a 127.4 to go up into P2, but that's such a shame. He looked like he was on a good one as Chris has been setting purple sectors left, right, and center. Let's check out how he's doing. So first sector was purple as Nih went and crashed out. So one less challenging lap for Chris Boye to go against. So far Chris Boye is in the lead with a gap and a half as well. So now we wait and see. First purple sector for Chris Boye as he goes through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Is that invalidated though as he goes there? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that is invalidated. Yeah, Knee was on a purple first sector there, so that's really disappointing for
true
him,
as
I'm
well.
sure. So I hope he maintains his confidence as he goes through his last couple of laps, as he really needs to set a time there, or else he's going to be starting at the bottom of the pack.
Exactly. So now we wait and see. We still don't have too many valid laps in, as we have just Pita standing in the grid for some reason. So there we go. P9 we have Gun AWM, sorry. Still hasn't set a fastest lap. Knee as well, not yet there. It's Leon, hasn't set a valid lap himself, and AGV989 still hasn't set a lap himself. So we wait and see what's gonna happen, basically.
Yeah, I mean, 4 drivers haven't set lap times, and Knee is one of them. He's one of the. I thought he was one of the. People are starting to jump up the board now. I think that was Jackie moving up to a 131.2, and Doom as well. So, I mean, that's not a proper lap time, but he gets on the board, and yeah, everyone's starting to get on the board now.
There we go. Leon has set a P2 lap time, basically 126.8. So he's still 8/10 away from Chris, which is still a massive, massive gap. But it's good to see that somebody has actually gone within the second of Chris Boye, as as Nih is the last driver who still hasn't set a lap. He must be on his provisional lap right now. Let's go ahead and have a checkup with him as we go down the leaderboard. Let's ride along with him as he exits that medium speed corner. He's going to be going into the highest speed corner of this track. If you get it right, it is flat. And I think he did, by the sounds of things. So now we just wait for him to cruise through these technical type of corners where you can easily spin out, as I think he invalidates, but we'll have to confirm.
He does invalidate. Yeah, as you can see at the bottom of the fastest lap times. That is going to be real terrible for him. But I think this will be his last lap after this lap, so we'll have to see if he can actually set a valid lap time, or else he'll be starting in 12th.
So he's actually
Oh, sorry. No.
Go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of drivers are saying invalid purple, invalid red sectors, so that's not really good for them. A couple drivers that aren't setting invalid sectors is in the name of Rata, who has a green first sector, and Chris, he gets a purple second sector. Is he managing to improve again on his pole time? This man is absolutely unstoppable, as he has a yellow first sector, but that's to be expected because he is the fastest of the lot, and he has a purple second sector. So can we see an improvement on his lap time in the final closing stages of qualifying? As we see also Rata, 2 green sectors. Can he push himself further up the leaderboard to get into that top 3 position potentially? And we just see many people setting green sectors, and yeah, Jakku pushes up to P5 with a 128.4, and yeah, there's just I think Rata's gone into a pit, so he's finished there in P4.
Rata crosses the line in 127.9. Yeah, he just extends his P4 position. But that's about it from Ratapato. Let's move on back down to Nih, though, as he will be finishing. Does he invalidate again? Okay. He has one more lap. One more lap for Nih.
This is in the dying stages of qualifying. He had to invalidate that and get around quickly in the order to get that final lap. So as we ride on board with him, he's going through the first corners again. He needs to get these absolutely perfect. He gets very close to the sausage curve, almost, well, too close there because he rides it a little bit. But he goes on to the straight with the DRS. He needs this to have. He needs to have a lot of top speed going. Into the that corner, or else he is not going to achieve the speeds that he wants on the straight. But as he goes ahead. I think he's probably set a yellow sector there because he's definitely had fast lap times. I think he went a little bit too
wide,
wide there. Yeah, on the gravel very slightly. But he can make that up. He can just set this lap time and he will be making a multitude of positions up as he goes through the fastest corner, as Roarth has said, and he's going into Maggots and Beckett's. These are very technical corners. He needs to nail these if he wants to get any chance of being in that top 5 or even in that top 3 potentially if he sets all weldy. But as he goes on to the final straight now with the DRS, and he is cruising down there. So he has a lot of top speed. I think going into that was a very good Maggots and Beckett's from him, I believe. As he goes,
is that invalidation? Let's wait for him to cross the line. As he's in the very final couple of corners, is he gonna set a valid lap this time? Then he crosses the line. It's P4, enough for P4, so 127.7. The knee really struggling around here, which is something I did not expect to see, but we'll see what he does in the race. If he had so many invalidations in qualifying, it really makes you wonder, will he get lots of penalties in the race? But we'll have to see. So that's qualifying over then, ladies and gentlemen. In pole, we have Mr. Chris Boye with a 126.0, 8 tenths quicker than absolutely anyone else. In P2, we have Leon, Gons, Ni, Rata, Jakku, Ruth, Black Moon Killer, Slipstreamer X, Guna, AJV9, sorry for butchering completely your names. P12, it's Seth. P13 is Doom. And in P14, we have Sot underscore. So, guys, head over to the grid as we, as we set ourselves up for the race. And, yeah, just head to the grid.
Yep, I mean, I think that's Peter in 13th with his 6-minute lap. Absolutely amazing lap time for him. But, let's see if he can switch it up and try and make up some positions. But, yeah, the final grid order. And, yeah, Chris, he's just on, I think, he's my favorite to win this race, I'm not going to lie. He's just been absolutely dominant in qualifying. He's been setting the most purple sectors. And he's also been the most consistent. I don't think he might not finish the race, honestly. I'm not sure about his consistency, as we talked about in qualifying. Yeah, he had one final lap just to, secure a actual qualifying positions. But apart from that, I don't think anything is anything special. He has to, pull out something very, very, amazing if he wants to get a good finish, maybe on the podium.
For sure. My favorite is also going to be Chris. Although I am going to be cheering up for the rest as well, the underdogs, who might be Leon, Gons, or Ni. Maybe even Rata, who knows. And, yeah, without further ado, I think it's time we start the race. What do you think, G-Force?
Yeah, I think everyone seems to be ready on the grid. They are preparing for going to be a hopefully wonderful race around Silverstone in the British Isles.
Right, so I think we should start. So the pole lap was a 126.0. So I think if we pull out our calculators real quick out here, 126 lap time multiplied by 30 basically gets us 37 minutes of racing. So I think 23 lap times should be the optimal way to go.
Yep, and also Zach in the chat is asking if they want, if they want to know that there is a tire compound change.
There's no compound change. No, it's not needed.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys will have to excuse me about this because the cameras on PA don't really work that well. But so I guess we'll just miss the lights or something. I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't do anything about it. So just go when the lights go out, as PA messes up our broadcast right here.
Yeah, PA is also sick like us.
Yeah, exactly. So I hear them going. Actually, there we go. Finally, we have a broadcast feed. As Chris Boye gets a great start. We couldn't see if anyone jump start, which is absolutely unfortunate. But Chris Boye is in the lead. Right alongside is It's Leon with his Red Bull, and Gonzalez right behind him. So now we wait and see who will be in front by the next couple of corners. DRS will be active in the first lap. No tire compound change is needed for this race. So if anyone wants to make a one-stopper work, they can absolutely do that. Although I would not suggest that at all. As Chris Boye has fallen off just a little bit, as the two Red Bulls of It's Leon and Mr. Nee have actually overtaken him, going into this fast right-hander corner. One could hardly call it a corner. It's almost a straight with the high downforce of these F1 cars. But into Corps now. And GeForce, can you take over real quick?
Yeah, I mean, Chris has been dropping down at the start of the race, which is not ideal for him, as he was one of the prime contenders. Oh, and he gets a little bit of a slide there, so he's going to be even losing even more positions down Maggots as Beckett's as he goes, but he might be able to make it up with the DRS, as the three Red Bulls ahead of him are all fighting for the wheel. It's Leone and Gonzalez, and they're all very close. They're going to be in this medium speed corner. Just pray that none of them gets that little slit there. I don't think any of them did, which is great for them. Leon seems to be in the lead, but that will all definitely change as we go into the second lap. As we go behind, but the
what was that cut? It's crazy.
Leon has a bit of a cut, and as we can see, the top five are spread over a second. But as we go down the leaderboard, you can see that the gaps get bigger and bigger and bigger as there's less less fighting down there. But yeah, Leon over the race, and Chris and Nee are also fighting him for the lead.
Absolutely. So yeah, it has been a great opening lap so far. The leaders have stayed close together, which is something I really wanted to see, as that's the Red Bull of Nee, right? Going right around the outside of Leon. He has absolutely found himself here in this race. The underdog, the one that I had my eyes out for in qualifying, is back in this race. Although I don't want to jinx it real quickly, so we'll say that with a pinch of salt. Is that what English people say? I have no idea, but
yep.
Yeah, with a slight pinch of salt, as he goes down the inside of Leon. Does he overtake him? Leon seems to be in second place right now, and I think Nee has claimed that first position. Really great stuff by Nee.
Yeah, I think Leon had a little slide there in Maggots Beckett's, which caused him to go down slightly the leaderboard, but he does manage to keep up. Nee gets a little bit of a slide there. That managed to keep keep everyone up there who are fighting for the win. As we can see, Chris, I think with all that vision line going slightly ahead, I think he will manage to take the race lead for now. Yep, and he is a 10th clear of Nee, but Nee seems to be making that back up, as they look like they've slightly separated from the rest of the field. As they are, you can see a bit of a gap, but that is now reduced because of the insane the vision lag. I think keeping everyone down, but now the DRS also keeping everyone together, as people behind Nee will definitely be able to overtake him, as he does not get the DRS. So Chris, Gonzalez, and Sot are all behind him, and they have the DRS, which will manage to let them keep up with Nee, but he seems to be maintaining the lead very well. You could see Chris gaining on him with a slightly more inside line there through that medium speed corner, but as they go down the straight, it looks like they are fighting, jostling for the lead there through Cops, and as we can see on Chris's onboard, he is right behind Nee, and I think that will stay. He makes a huge mistake there. Oh no. As he goes back onto the straight, he's much below now, as he's battling with the Ferrari. I think Nee is definitely clear of everyone now with a 2-second gap off. Okay, so yeah, as we can see with the fighting, Sot and Chris are together with each other right now, and Nee is quite ahead of him right now as he crosses the line, and Sot and Chris are going through the last corner of the thing, so you can definitely see the gap there as he is already making his way through the first couple corners. Chris and Sot are quite behind, so we'll have to see how that pans out across the rest of this lap. And yeah,
Oh, I was muted. Oh, that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, sorry. Absolutely, really sorry about that. But yeah, as we saw, Chris made a major mistake. And yeah, we're just gonna be waiting here for the first round of pit stops. As Mr. Shot, who's Mr. Shot? He came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, he was the
Uh,
last one to join for the race.
that is some crazy pace by Sot right there, who is able to keep up with Chris Boyer's pace and actually, stay ahead of him. So that's really interesting to see, as the rest have actually dropped off. As Mr. Sot makes a huge mistake right there,
Oh
goes
yeah.
wide, and I think we also jinxed his pace right there, which is crazy
Yeah.
as well. So Nee has been running away, 4 seconds of a gap. He has made that for himself for the last couple of laps as Mr. Shot. Crazy oversteer right there. Where's Chris? He dropped more.
Yeah, I think he made another mistake, and now he is fighting with the car of Jakku. I don't know his full thing, so sorry about that. But yeah, as you see, he is 4 seconds to 5 seconds clear of the rest of the leaderboard, and yeah, it seems like he's maintaining that gap. And yeah, we'll have to see if he's able to keep that gap over the rest of the laps. There's 18 laps to go, which make it very impossible to tell who's actually going to win the race now.
Exactly. We still have pit stops to go. We still have lots of things to do. People are expected to get penalties, as this is a very high corner cut, tendencies track. So we'll have to wait and see. As Chris seems to have picked up the pace just a little bit to break through and maybe move away from this P3, P4 pack. So hopefully he can do that and he can give us a challenge for the win in the final couple of laps. As Mr. Nee has done the perfect opening few laps, now into lap number 5 as well. He has pulled it absolutely perfectly. 6 seconds of a gap. I think he can make a couple of mistakes now. He can just, cruise it for the next couple of laps as we head into the pit stop rounds. Again, no mandatory pit stop required, but we really wouldn't recommend that, as we saw what happened last race with, the people who chose to do just one pit stop. And now it's G-Force's turn to actually spend his breath instead of me.
Yep. As we see, yeah, I thought Chris, I'm not gonna lie, he's dropping down. He's proved us all wrong, and he is ahead of everyone by a massive mile. And Chris, he's been really dropping down. He's making, I think I've confused Nee and Chris. They must be in alternate realities, because Chris is now the one making mistakes and Nee is the one staying consistent and being the fastest on track. As we see a fight brewing for P4 to P2, not P4 anymore, but yeah, P2, P3, they are only separated by 3 seconds or 2 seconds, as the gap decreases further. So I do think, as Sot makes a little mistake that he does go a little bit wide, but it's okay, as Chris is prone to making mistakes, unfortunately. So we'll have to see how that battle turns out, as we see the rest of the gap, the rest of the field, they're also just very spread out. I mean, there's a couple fights for P6 to P8. I mean, they're only separated 5 full seconds, and P9 and P10. So we'll have to see how all the fighting goes and who goes out of top in each of these fights.
Exactly. So yeah, it doesn't look like we have too much to commentate on, as the only fight really is down here for a couple of points. Mr. Ratapato has not done well at all, comparing to where he was last race, where he was fairly high up in the opening laps. But today he has not done that great, which is sad to see. I really wanted him up there, maybe in the points as well. But by the looks of things, looks like he hasn't been doing really great at all. Hopefully he can pick up the pace on the next pit stop round and hopefully pull up with a good result, at least in the points, because I'm sure he can fight in other tracks. But
yeah, I mean, no, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, Rata was P4 at in qualifying, so it's really and he makes it up to P10, as I think people are starting to lose positions now because of the tire wear. Maybe even thinking about pitting, as it's lap 7 of 23, and most of the drivers I think are on softs. Like Rat is on the softs, so we'll have to see. I mean, he's gaining a couple of positions on people ahead of him. He is definitely proven to have pace. There's no doubt about that. So I do think he's able to potentially make it off the leaderboard and secure some good points, because this is a championship. If you get points anywhere, that should be, they're crucial. They could matter in the final dying moments of the championship. But we'll have to see how that pans out across the couple of weeks. But yep, we see not a lot of fighting now. I mean, with Seth and Rata on his recovery drive, I don't know, he may have made a massive mistake. But yeah, he seems to be way faster than Seth and overtakes him quite easily.
There we go. Through Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel goes Ratapato. This is where lots of mistakes can happen, as well as the next corner that Rata will be heading into. There's a massive bump on that corner that's called Stowe, I believe. Yeah, this one right here. Lots of people, find that bump and usually knock themselves out of the race. So we'll have an eye out for that bump right there in that corner, and see if it, catches a few people out. So far, it really hasn't, from what we've been seeing, but we are in lap number 8 of 23, meaning the tire wear will be hitting the drivers right about now. And I'm really dying to see if Chris will go for an undercut, and we should probably be focused on one of them at this moment, as Knee goes through Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel. Let's see if any one of them will jump in, maybe try and get that, faster compound advantage for a couple of laps. But yeah, we'll definitely wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, the gaps at the front have started to extreme, they've just managed to become larger, is what I'm trying to say. And the gaps at the back are actually becoming closer. So what I said at the start of the race, with the people at the back having much larger gaps than the people at the front, has totally reversed now. As we see Knee, he's crossing the line on the 9th lap. He's very ahead of everyone else. I mean, Chris is probably just making it through the last sector right now, and everyone behind him is just very, seconds and seconds behind. I mean, there is a lot of fighting though for P6 to P8, as we can see a little move for Leon to go up again, to move up a place on Gonzalez. I mean, these guys were in the top 5 positions of the qualifying, so it's really disappointing to see them down in P7 and P8, as well as Rata. He's joining the fight very soon there, as I think he will try to make as many positions before he has to pit for maybe, I'm thinking, the mediums, because the mediums will be able to go longer than the softs, but not too. They're not too. Oh, as we see Seth Woolley with some pitting action as he goes into the pits.
So is he the first car in this race to go into the pits? Most likely. So lap number 9 is where he comes in to fit in the mediums. That is a bad choice, if you ask me. The mediums and the hards in this game are not really great at all. But we'll have to see how that pans out for him. If Ratapato goes for the soft tire compound, I'm sure he'll be able to stay ahead of Seth with ease, because those mediums are nothing really to be proud of. But let's see. Does Nick pit in? Doesn't look like it. No, he doesn't. What about Chris, who will be rounding up Stowe right now? Does he go in? Does he take advantage of a quicker tire compound? No, he doesn't, unfortunately. He still continues. They probably know a thing or two more than us, GeForce.
Yeah. They're pro drivers and we're not. But yeah, as they are in the mid stage of the thing, I actually would have backed the medium tires, but after hearing Arthur's comments, I'm less secure about my opinions of the tires. But I do think maybe the mediums, I mean, he's pitted earlier than the rest of the thing. He might have been going for an undercut. Maybe the mediums will be good enough to last for the rest of the race, but we'll have to see, because they know more than we do, like Arthur said.
Yeah, just like that. I've heard left, right, and center that mediums and hards are not great at all on this game. So, just going for the softs and softs all the time, I think that will just give you naturally just more grip. It's not just about the tire wear, it's the amount of natural grip those tires have. So you could maybe be going with 60% tire wear on the softs, but that would be like fresh new tire mediums. So if you ask me, just go for the softs. But yeah, now we wait and see what's going to happen, as I'm going to be refocusing on the knee. Oh, massive mistake by the knee. Oh, he did not
Oh!
lose. Yeah, he did not lose his front wing, but that means that Chris has caught up to him. Are they both going to go into the pits? Any one of them? No. So, Knee has lost the lead in just a tenth of a second. Massive spin by the Knee right here, meaning Chris is now back ahead. Or is he as they cross the... Yes, he is. By 5/10 as well. Massive, massive move by Knee right there to actually lose it. That was the bump we were talking about before. The one that catches out a lot of players. And it has certainly caught out Knee.
Yeah, I mean, he's just lost that that 7-second lead that he had, and he's reduced to being in second place. So it just really goes to show how one mistake could change the course of the race. But yeah, now we have some actual proper fighting now for first place, as Nee has a DRS on Chris, but I don't know, maybe Chris had the DRS too. But yeah, Nee is taking different lines. He's taking a more inside line approach, but he does exit more out. Chris is still going more inside. So if he's different. These different lines make it more interesting to see who is the better driver, and who will come out on the top before the pit stop section.
Okay, so as G4 said, we're going to be having the pit stops very, very soon, which is why this is going to be getting more and more exciting, as Chris Boye does go a bit wide on that inside line over there. Makes you wonder if that's going to be a penalty or not, but so far it looks like Chris and Mr. Nee are actually head-to-head lap number 11 in Silverstone. Let's see if the bump will catch out any one of them this time around, as they both look to have gone cleanly.
Oh, Chris goes into the pits.
Yep, Chris goes in the pits. So Nee is going to be staying out for that extra lap. Chris is going to be going for that fresh soft tire compound, and I believe it's going to be a soft tire compound. Let's see, as he will be pulling into that pit box right about soon enough. I don't know when he
Soon enough.
He's going on that final one. Okay, so let's see what tires he changes into. That's going to be softs. Yeah, as I predicted. So soft tire compound for Chris is going to have that fresh lap to actually take advantage of the fresh new tire compound, and we'll be watching over Nee to see where he will be coming in, as this has gotten from a slightly boring race to an actually fairly entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Chris kind of, he has given Nee the information that he's definitely pitted first, so Nee can make some sort of calculations. What am I gonna do to figure out how he's going to protect against this undercut? But it seems like, yeah, as Arthur was saying, this is a much more interesting race than previously 5 laps ago or so. So yeah, we'll have to see if Chris's tires will extend his lead for the undercut, or will Nee's perfect driving potentially keep him in the lead with fresher tires. We'll have to see. But these different strategies make it more interesting to see who has the better decision making.
Oh, again!
He makes a huge mistake as he goes into the pits. I do think that Chris is going to make a substantial lead on him as he enters the pits. Let's see what tires he's going. My bet's on softs. Let's see if we're right. Oh, a little bit of turn. Yeah, he does go into softs. Yeah. And we'll have to see if Chris manages to undercut him. Yeah, it's quite obviously he does, and he does get the lead.
But wait, he's not yet out. Yeah, by a lot as well. So Chris has gotten the lead back from Nee, as Nee just about now exits the pits. And that was not a great strategy call by the Nee right there, as he has been knocked down way, way further than he would have wanted to be. As he goes on that sausage curb slightly, but I'm not sure that was going to be a problem. And yeah, I think the Nee has now lost a great chance of actually winning this race.
Yeah, he's bottled it. I think it's just second place maybe again for him from round 1. But Chris, they've literally swapped positions from that one simple mistake. It's just it just goes to show how what I said, one mistake changes the course of the race. But yeah, Nee has to have a substantial drive if he wants to even have a chance of attacking Chris for the win. Or, as we've seen before, mistakes can happen, and Chris is definitely prone to having those mistakes that could cost him the lead. So we'll have to see that. But also, as we focus below, we've been focusing too much on the top 2 spots. We see Jakku and Sol also fighting for that podium position. That's also very important between each of those. Never mind, as Gonzalez is 3 seconds behind, and I think he's potentially pitted. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, Roof goes ahead of him, and we have a nice battle brewing for the podium potential, as we see. Sort that also fighting with Jakku, the Red Bull against the Mercedes, as Jakku makes a little bit of mistakes there to see who comes ahead on lap 14. It is going to be sought by a couple of tenths, 4 tenths to be precise, as he goes ahead into the first sector.
And there we go, a nice little fight for the podium as well, as they're still going at it side by side. Mr. Sot and Jakku, side by side, head on head. Let's see who comes out on top as they're going on this mini straight right here. They both look like they have the DRS active, so not real advantage for any of them if they both have it active. Crazy stuff happening on this race so far, and we can't wait to see what will happen towards the end. If it's been this crazy from the start, I expect the end to also be crazy. So the tire wear is now going to be low again, meaning that the drivers will be focused on pure pace and not management. So we'll just have to wait and see for those last few laps when the tire wear is going to be really high again, and it's going to be hitting the drivers much more than we hopefully expect. So yeah, Sot in P3 opens the DRS again. No real advantage for any of them as they both have it open again as they're going into stow. I'm not sure if that's stow actually, but we'll see.
He had a little bit of a slide there, but yeah. There's a lot of fighting now between the lower chances for points, like in P7 and P8 as well. So there's just a lot of excitement building around the race. You don't really know who's going to finish where. I mean, I think in my opinion, I think Sot will take podium position, but we'll have to see as we go into the last 8 laps of this race. Jakku is slightly behind him now by 2 seconds, or 2.5 seconds around. As Rata, he's having an amazing drive. I think he's moved from P11 to P6, so it's really great to see him improving as he goes into the pit. So he's gonna get those soft tires for those last remaining laps. Can he get this P6? Can he maintain this P6? Or will the drivers behind just manage to keep that lead over him? It does seem like that they will, but we don't really know until it's actually happened.
You know, the guy that actually told me how bad the soft tire compounds were was Ratapato. I talked to him after the race, and he told me how mediums were so much worse than the soft tire compound. And he hasn't made that same mistake then twice. He has gone for the soft tire compound this race as well. Up into P8, as we were talking about, although I do want to wait until he crosses a sector line to be more sure of his position. But if he is in P8, then he has done a great recovery drive. He was in P11 the first few opening laps. Now he's up to P8, meaning he's in the points. So that gives him a better chance of scoring that top 3 that he needs to actually bite into that sweet 5,000 Robux prize pool. But for now, in the leaders side of things, Ni looks like he's 7 seconds behind. Absolutely bottled that win, I have to say, for Ni. But we'll have to wait and see still, because as we saw before, Ni just lost the lead in 1 lap. So let's see if Chris makes the same mistake or not. So far, looks solid, but you never know.
Yeah. As we can see, there is a huge sort of mystery about who's going to get. I mean, again, we were right about Chris about how he was going to manage to say the lead, but maybe not in the way that, that we expect. Well, obviously not in the way that expected, because Ni managed to have a brilliant start of the race, but he just had that one bump cost him everything, and I'm sure he's not going to be very pleased about that, as he is in that potential for that 5,000 buy of Robux. 60%, that's a lot of money to take, so it's definitely going to be a disappointing experience that he could have cost his championship potentially if unfortunate things happen like they did now. I mean, Ni is catching up slightly. It went from 8 seconds to 6.6 seconds, so he is definitely seeming to make a move on Chris Boy, maybe with those new softer tires. As we see now, he's biting into that gap slightly, so it's not over yet for him, but it's definitely close. As we see the P, I do think that Sot is gonna take that.
Yeah,
he is 6 seconds ahead of Jakku. So it does seem like Sot will be the final pony, but who knows? Maybe he'll have the same unfortunate mistake that needed. Well, not really mistake, more just an unfortunate bump that he had. And yeah, we'll just see how it turns out. I mean, there is a lot of closeness potential to change things around the lower scoring points.
And we missed half of those things because GeForce had a slight connection problem. But it's really funny how where Nih crashed, we can see a few front wings left, right, and center. So let's just wait till we go there again with the outside camera. But I'll show you guys. And it's just really funny to see that that corner actually is catching out lots of people. Way more than I expected. As Chris is actually, he's losing a bit of pace. Nih is up to 6.3 seconds. 6.2 now. So yeah, he's actively losing a bit of pace. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't make the same type of mistake like Nih. And as you can see, yeah, the front wing in the back, it's just really fun to see. Yeah, exactly. 6.2 seconds then between the leaders. Let's see if they can do anything about it as we go into lap number 18. Just 4 to go.
Ooh. Yeah, Nih is biting. He's now within that 5-second gap. Chris is not safe from winning again. He needs to maintain like a second. He needs to at least keep it under a second loss per lap, and I do think that he will be able to take the win. But Ni's tires will also wear out too, so we'll have to see. It's going to be a very exciting battle for P1 because we really don't know who's going to win. And I think Jakku is starting to catch up from Sot. He had a larger gap, but I think he's had a closer gap now. He's 4 seconds behind, so it's not over for him yet, as the same thing could happen between him and Sot. And as we go further down the grid, gaps seem to be everywhere. Rata, I think he's he's very behind now. He's a minute and 40 seconds behind, very close to being lapped, which is really disappointing coming from his P4 in podium, in qualifying. And yeah, I mean, only 5 laps to go. I don't think he's managing to get any more points than just 4. So that's not going to be a great thing for him in the championship, but there's always a possibility for him to make that back up in the latter rounds of the championship.
Yeah. Again, fairly unfortunate to see that Ratapato has been dropping, but you know, the very quick leader that we thought that Chris was, he isn't currently, because he's losing around 5/10 per lap, which is again not going to be enough if he keeps on losing just 5/10 a lap. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's going down dangerously fast. Too close to comfort, basically. Yeah.
Donation offer if you didn't see.
Donation. Imagine the imagination that you imagine. Crazy. Absolutely appreciated, Mr. Dillo. Thesaurus, 10 by Mr. Dillo. Absolutely appreciated, brother. And I'll give you a special thanks right after the stream. Wink, wink.
Oh, what's Arthur planning?
Yeah, it's gonna stay a secret. But as we were saying, he's losing a couple of tenths per lap, but we'll have to wait and see if that's gonna be enough or not, as it's going too close to comfort. Again, massive thanks, Mr. Dilla, for the €10.
Yeah, and the gap between the top 2 and the rest of the field is definitely just that wide. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Dividing. Sorry about that. But yeah, 18 seconds between second and third. Nih could take a pit stop and still come out ahead, most likely. But yeah, he's 4.8 seconds behind Chris. That overcut seems to actually be working for him. Yeah. As he is gaining. He's only four laps left and 4.8 seconds to deal with. And who knows, maybe Nih could actually get that win. He craves since from the last race. So, you know, if he drives perfectly and Chris makes a couple mistakes, it does seem like Nih has a potential to make it for the win.
The thing is, GeForce, that even if Nih doesn't win, he will be first in the championship by a good few points, because Bistiva did not attend this race. So if Nih finishes in second as well, he will be leading the championship, which is not half bad if you ask me. Yeah,
but it's still really important that he gets those early points that no one else is getting, because what if, you know, say someone else comes who manages to get those wins that he doesn't. So it will be really disappointing to him if he doesn't get, like, that 7 points could mean a lot for him. It could mean the difference between getting Robux and no Robux, or more Robux and less Robux. So you have to, like you have to always go for the top positions, or else like you can't really be satisfied with coming second. Really, that's my opinion.
Yeah. As we see the gap actually opening up a little bit, so it's back up to 6 seconds as the donation just came through. Again, absolutely appreciated Dillo for the 10 euros. And yeah, so the gap has actually opened up a little bit, meaning that even if Ni, keeps reducing at the same pace that he was, he's still not gonna. What is he doing?
Oh yeah, oh.
He's using the game corner cut system to his advantage then. Okay.
Ah.
So, yeah, he's down to 2 seconds now, 2.8. I don't know if that's completely legal, but if the game doesn't think it's illegal, then who am I to think that it's illegal?
Oh my goodness, this absolute corruption as we have, Ni. I mean, fair play to him. He's outsmarted the system a little bit there. But Chris, I know he's got that lap pace. He gets that pace when he really needs it. I know that because as a driver, I've seen him just absolutely perform at the top levels, and he's just really good at that. So I do think Chris is able to fight the cheating and what's it called? Is able to get that P1. I mean, he's who I think who will win. He's my favorite.
So there's a little bit of a fight going on for the points as well with Ratapato and Leon. Sorry, it's not Ratapato. Excuse me, it's Ruth and Leon.
Yeah.
For that P6 position. So that's been going really great so far. As Rata stays in P8 for the time being. As we have, what's the Aston Martin doing? Is the question.
Oh, is he doing the knee? Is he doing a knee?
He just did the knee as Leon gets a penalty. That's
Oh.
crazy. That's so fun. Okay, I guess if you have saved up your corner cuts, I don't see why you can't use them.
Yeah,
But,
fair enough. That's an
yeah.
extra element of strategy.
Extra element of strategy, exactly. But yeah, so Leon has for sure lost that P6 position as Ruth uses that corner cut advantage. Something like Formula E, you could say, but Ni is... Wait, what happened to Ni? Oh, he pitted!
Oh, so he does go for that fastest lap again. Oh my
One more
days.
time again, yes. So let's pull up the
Again.
leaderboard and see if...
Let's see.
Yeah, it's gonna be fairly exciting. Let's pull up the times again, as I'm gonna be doing that just now, and let's watch the sectors. So the next lap is the crucial lap for Mr. Ni, as he's gonna be going for the fastest lap point. He actually very well saw that he's not gonna be able to challenge for the win, so he's gonna be going for the fastest lap. Second race in a row. Great strategy by Ni right there, and let's see how the damage control is going to be. All right, GeForce, talk us through this one last lap, and then I'll be closing off the stage in the final lap.
Yeah, I mean, Ni, he had a really unfortunate, what's it called, thing there with the bump. So I think it's really good to see him trying to pry that extra point from Chris, as he needs all the points possible to make sure that he extends his lead in the championship. As things stands, he will be first place in the row off the championship. Sorry about my mic, but yeah, he's going around on his loud lap, but it does seem like Chris is going to easily take that win there. I mean, there wasn't really a doubt at the start. There was that doubt at the middle, but now there's no doubt in the end again. As he comes over for the final lap, very great race for him. I don't think he's going to lose that unless he bottles, which I don't think is going to happen. Ni gets a little bit of a slide there, but that doesn't really matter because Sot is going... Oh, and he cuts again.
Yeah, for the slight advantage right there. As we move into the final lap, Ni is going to be starting his fastest lap attempt. We're going to be watching the sectors, as we said, and let's see if the first one is going to be purple. If it is, then he has a very high chance of getting that sweet fastest lap. 25 seconds is where he needs to be. So let's see if he pulls that off this time around, as Ni will be crossing the sector timeline right now.
Oh,
24.8. 24.8 is the first sector for Ni. Let's see if he bottles it, though, as we move on to Sector 2. This is a very technical sector, and it does include Mackett's, Chapo, and Beckett's. It's the point of the track where you can really cut, and you can either get a corner cut or really use it to your advantage. So we'll have to wait and see how Ni pulls that through. Let's really move on to Chris, as he will be crossing the final finish line to take that win. And he'll be doing that very, very soon, as the game lags just a little bit, which is worrying me.
Everything's... That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right at all.
I'm afraid now.
There we go. Okay, so leave the like spike alone. Chris finishes the race in P1. Next, excuse me. Next we have Ni 108, who's going to be crossing the line right about now. Does he get the fastest lap? Crosses the line right now. Let's wait and see for that final sector. No, unfortunately not. He's just 0.010 seconds away. But in P3, we have Sot, who's going to be crossing the line right about now. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. So Sot crosses the line in P3. In P4, we have Jakku after a great fight with Sot. Yeah, he wasn't able to climb that podium, but great fight for that P3 position. Next up, Ruthist, crossing the line right about now, with Leon right behind him, as he gets a penalty on the final corner.
Oh no!
Leon crosses the head. Oh wow. Okay, so a final corner penalty for Ruth makes sure that Leon gets the P5 position that he needed. That's absolutely crazy. Gonzalez in P7. Ratapato is going to be rounding up in P8, as I'm actually struggling to talk. Wow.
Yeah, beautiful.
Sorry, round us
beautiful
up, G-Force.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Arthur is dying, and so am I. We are all dying inside. But yeah, Rata in P8, he does take. I mean, he has no fears of becoming any lower than he already is. You know, not decent race from him. I'm not gonna lie. That was really unfortunate showing from Rata. So yeah, that is our top 8. I think Seth is gonna take a while until he crosses the line. So we'll just say he's in P9. So yeah, that is our top. Oh, is he even in there? I don't even think of that. So those are our finishes. Chris, 18 second lead against Ni. Very, very beautiful race from him, except in the middle and in the start. But you know, that's good for him, as he now gets those 25 points, which will help him go up the championship. Ni does manage to take the lead, and yeah, all of these drivers will be getting massive, points, which will help them towards that beautiful, will allure them to that beautiful 5,000 Robux prize pool.
Really great stuff in this race, as I will make sure to not die for the final few minutes of the broadcast. But thank you all for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to host round 2. Round 3 is going to be wherever G-Force decides it's going to be.
Oh,
You have 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Hockenheim.
Hockenheim. All right, so round number 3 is going to be Germany Hockenheim, one of Project Apex's flagship tracks, chosen by Mr. G-Force. So if you hate Hockenheim, you have one man to blame, and that is the G-Force. But we'll catch you up in the next race. Join my Discord server to find out about the standings and everything. Ni is now the official leader of the PA Community Championship, and right next is going to be Chris Boya. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all in round number 2 in round number 3, sorry, in Hockenheim.
We'll see.